Hello, welcome to the Reasonably Effective podcast brought to you by myself, Uncommon Fossil, and 10 Types.
Yep, that's right. Today we're here and we're going to be talking about a few different things. But first, Uncommon Fossil, you want to talk about live because there were a few things that happened this week.
Yeah, there were two updates to live this week, which is two more than most weeks, right? The one was an update that we knew was coming, and they posted the announcement about what it was going to be, which was pretty minor, but then they threw in a major addition of the battle log as well, which was a surprise. I think it caught everyone by surprise there, and I think this battle log, which has been badly needed, and I'm glad we have that because that was one of the biggest things missing for PTCGO. But not only is it, I think, as good as that
TCG Live, right?
PT.
L, you said?
Yeah, well, I think it. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was in PTCGO, obviously the battle log, and it's one of the things they needed to add to live to get back to that level. And I think this is and not only is it as good as PTCGO, I think it's actually better than that. I think this is probably the first time live has anything that's better than PTCGO.
Outside of, in my opinion, the economy. And arguably
Yeah,
the visuals are better. But this is the first thing that PTCGO's done decently that Live's done better,
yeah.
which is good. It's kind of weird. As you said, they kind of just like tossed it in there. It seemed like they didn't think it was a very big deal, which in some sense is like good because that means that, oh, they got even better stuff planned.
Hmm.
But in some sense, it's really bad because it might mean that they don't know what they're doing.
Well, I think they had their year-end letter last December of 2023, where they said the battle log was coming. So I think they knew it was a big deal. I think they didn't announce it because they weren't sure if it was going to be ready, or they weren't sure if there are going to be problems when they put it in. That's my guess. I think they weren't certain about it. That's why they didn't announce it.
I guess, but I mean, it feels like they celebrate things that aren't good. Like it's, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It just, I mean, it's not bad. The battle log's pretty cool. For those of you who don't know, I don't have an image of it right now, but
Hmm.
it's very visual. You can like actually see stuff, like the
Right.
pictures of the cards, as opposed to just the names of the cards. Well, not in the text, obviously. So there are some issues, but for the most part, it's pretty good. And the Pokemon TCG Simulator has a battle log, and honestly, um, I think
Hmm.
Lives is better. I mean, I don't know, it's kind of different, but it's good. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it gives us more information than it had in PTCGO. Just more information, and you can click on the card. Besides just being text, it's got some visuals of the cards, which makes it faster to find to get the information as long as you know what the visuals are. And if you click on the card, it expands the card. So if you don't have to read the cards as they're flying by on the screen. First off, when your opponent recovered something like with Rod before, the game probably wouldn't show you at all what it was. Now it's there, and not only it has a little icon of the card, so you can always check it, and you can click the card, expand it to see what it is too, if you don't remember what exactly that card did, which is all good.
Yeah, and one thing that also is really nice is that if you hear about that, you might think that it sounds like clunky, like big, like that
Hmm.
it'll be really long to scroll between the sections because you have all these cards in the way. But now
Right.
you can like collapse the cards, so you can hide the card, and then you can look at one specific action,
Yeah.
click it, expand it, and see what's happening. As I said, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's honestly very good, especially for a first attempt.
Right, and they called it Phase One, I believe, and I couldn't find the letter wherever it was. Oh, I guess it's in the in-game log in the game. I think is where it has some information on it. Yeah, like if when you take a mulligan, your opponent takes a mulligan. It says they took a mulligan, and then it's got an arrow. If you click the arrow and expand it, then it shows all the cards in the mulligan. But it collapses it so it doesn't take up the space all the time. But you can check it out when you want to. So they did a nice job with it so far.
Yeah, speaking of the mulligans, it doesn't tell you your hand you draw after the mulligan, which is a minor issue. That should definitely be shown. I think they probably just forgot. Um, I think a log should be able to, because the main issue, like the
Hmm.
reason for a log is that you can now use it to track down glitches, which honestly I think they should encourage people to post their logs because it's extremely
Yeah.
helpful. But aside from that, I think a log should be able to, if you follow it, you should be able to follow exactly what happened in the game, and the log
Yes.
isn't quite there. It's very, in some sense, it's very hard to do to, for example, differentiate between different bench Pokemon that are like the same Pokemon, which can matter.
Hmm.
Obviously, in physical play, you'll see it. Even in live, you'll see what's happening. But for the most part, it's really good.
Right. I mean, like if you when you attach an energy to a particular Pokemon, you may have different ones with different damage levels on them, for instance, and they probably aren't going to tell you which one it is of that exact which Pokemon it was, right? That you attach to and stuff. Um, but it's much closer to a complete game log than PTCGO had, which is good. And besides, yeah, I think Pokemon should start to say in the forums and stuff, whenever you report an issue, include the battle log, right? Because that's one of the things that it's there for. And the other thing is to get better. What with the game for all of us? One, I was very pleased to see I made a video on Control Snorlax Stall recently, which you might not like that, but it is what it is. But one person said, "Hey, I've been having a hard time against Snorlax Stall, and I took a look at the battle log in some games to see what I was doing to improve that matchup." So that's another thing it's there for, and hopefully people do that too.
Yeah, although right now I'm not sure if I'd say it's quite good enough. One person said that, and I agree with this, or it might have been multiple people. So they said a replay feature would be nice, and in some senses very logical. You just
Yeah.
stick the login, and then you can watch the game played back, which I think wouldn't be. I mean, it's not super easy to implement, but it's probably easier than the log itself, or about the same difficulty. So that would be really nice, and that would be very useful.
Yeah, you need to start. You need obviously, you might need a lot more information to be able to actually replay the game though from it. I'm
I
not
think it's just a little more. Um,
So I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure with the phase two what they're going to do for it. Are they looking for something like that? Are they looking for something like Magic the Gathering Arena, where you can have other third party programs that scrape the information from the game from the logs and then utilize that to utilize that, which gets a lot of information that way. I'm not sure. I think they have something bigger envisioned. I don't know what it is though.
Yeah, the one thing I'm concerned about is in the letter. So last letter, like not the letter they just put, which talked about the log and
Hmm.
said that they'd want to implement the log in the future,
Yeah.
but the letter before that they promised another letter, and that they just barely. And at the end of last year, they promised that they give us a letter last year, and they did, but like
Yeah.
barely. And so I'm kind of nervous that they're just because all they promised essentially was
What they've done.
that they'd roll out the bat. Yeah, was what they've done. So they
Correct.
might be just checking things off and then being like, okay, we don't need to worry about live for another. Well, I guess they didn't promise anything, so they didn't need to worry about it at all again. But like, oh, we don't need to worry about it for another like 4 months, which is why
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous to get my hopes up.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I mean, we did an episode a couple weeks ago about live, and you were more pessimistic than I was. I think you weren't even certain that they'd get to this level of the battle log this year, though. So,
Yeah, I wasn't. I'm honestly I'm surprised. I honestly when I saw the battle log, I was actually happy, and this I think was the first time ever that I've been like optimistic about live.
right, yeah, a pleasant surprise. I don't know if we've had that before with live. We do have the big test of rotation coming up in the not too distant future, so hopefully that goes okay. We will see about that. Um,
Yeah.
the the other issue, which thing this week, there was a second an update which they didn't give a lot of attention to. I saw in in the forums. I think it was like a heading in the forum. There wasn't even an official post on it, but there was an infinite like credit glitch or crystal glitch or something. I'm not sure what it was exactly. Something with the battle pass, and they fixed that within 24 to 48 hours, which is obvious, which is kind of how things should be in general. I will say, but this is the first time they've ever, I think, fixed anything close to that speed.
Yeah, I don't know if this is good. Like in some sense, it's good that they're patching glitches. And
Hmm.
also don't you probably shouldn't be abusing glitches. I know
Right.
some people do, but one Pokemon could like punish you for it. But more likely, I mean, I don't know. I think it's okay to abuse glitches that don't like hurt like other players. Anyway, so
I mean,
but
there's other
be
games
wary of
out
that.
there that the companies will punish you. So I don't know if Pokemon will take that attitude or not.
Yeah, I feel like it's not. I don't really like it when companies do that because at the end of the day, it's something that's in their game. It's not like even if it's not intended, it's still in the game. So you're not necessarily like breaking the rules. I actually don't know if that's true. I don't know what like the quote rules of
Hmm.
um like the things that you sign off on when you create the game, like the terms and conditions. But anyway,
Right.
so they patched that, but it's like I feel like they patched it because it was something that in a sense arguably hurt them.
Yeah.
And not actually, because they're not making actual money off of it, but it feels kind of like that's why they did it. Which
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, if we see that, well, I mean, there are issues with the battle log, and they haven't fixed that yet, and there are lots of issues. So this is, I don't know. I guess it's good that they fixed it.
Well, like it shows us they can fix something if they want to, right?
Yes, that's true.
Which is good. Now, why? The motivation question. Why was this such a big issue? There was an issue for a while before this that also had something with Battle Pass rewards, right? That was broken, and that stayed broken for I think a month or two. I forget what it
Yeah.
was. So for some
And do you
reason,
know how this glitch worked? I didn't like. I didn't. I don't know. I've heard. All I knew was that it existed, but I have no idea how it
no,
works. Was
there
it like
is.
easy,
I think it
or was it
was. The game broke itself. There was a video by one of the content creators documenting it, which I wouldn't, even if I knew what it was, I certainly wouldn't go uploading stuff like that. But yeah, I forget what you had to do. Somehow it would. I don't remember what it was, but something when you went up to the next level on the battle pass, if you did things a certain sequence, it just kept giving you the rewards. I think.
okay? I remember. I think that's what the previous one was like as well. That one, but that one, like your game would crash, and that happened to me a few times by accident. Like your
Right.
game would just crash, and then all of a sudden you like get extra stuff. But anyway, I think that's enough of live for today. We are talking about,
Yes.
before we get into the main topic, which is in the title and thumbnail. We're going to talk about some new cards, some very good cards, and also I don't know. We'll mention some other cards. So first of all, we have Uncommon Fossil. Have you looked at these cards?
I know the one card, the A spec, and that's the
Okay.
only card I know of.
So the first card we need to look at here is Blood Moon Ursaluna EX, which is a basic. I thought it was a stage 2 at first, and I thought this was a little underwhelming for a stage 2, and then I saw this was a basic, and it's
Okay.
very good. So it
260
has
HP, which
260
is
HP.
tremendous. Sorry, yeah, tremendous.
Yeah, yeah, and it's the most we've seen on a basic EX, I think.
Okay.
That or like lowercase ex, and then it has an ability Elder's Technique. This Pokemon's Blood Moon attack. The attack that it has costs one colorless less for each prize card your opponent has already taken, and for 5 colorless, it does 240 and can attack next turn. So this is Radiant Charizard. Like this is just Radiant Charizard, um, except it has more HP. It's
Right.
colorless, and it does a little bit less damage. But I think this card's kind of broken. I mean, what do you think?
Well, yeah, I see broken's a tricky word, so I don't think it breaks the game. I don't think it's gonna like all of a
What do you mean?
sudden.
It has it's like so you like Bliss EV, but that does like 30 for one. You
Yeah,
like it because it's tanky, but this does
but
like
you need 5 energy.
240 for one.
But you have to, yeah, and you can attack for free. You just have to let your opponent take all 5 prizes, right? But again,
But after they've taken 3, you just stick on 1 double turbo. Or if
right,
they've
and then you
taken
do
2, you stick a double
220.
turbo and 1 more energy. That's like not that hard.
You
Or you
could
can
do.
attach a double turbo, attach another double turbo, and assuming they've taken a knockout, you're hitting. I don't know.
Look,
It's
I
good.
don't think first. I don't think you're building a Blood Moon Ursaluna EX deck unto itself. I think it's a card that goes in other decks. Right, it's a colorless attacker. So unlike Radiant Charizard, you need at least one fire energy. Here, any type of energy works. So it goes in. So a lot of decks are going to play one copy of this card. That's what I see happening. You're going to put one copy of this into a lot of decks, which is fine. So we just got to be aware of it. But I don't think it like turns the world upside down.
I think it's like Radiant Charizard, which is pretty good, but I think
Yeah.
it's noticeably better. The only issue is that it gives up 2 prizes, but that's not like I mean, it's very tanky as well. I think
hmm
it's very good.
No, it's very good. I just don't think it's broken. I mean, mostly you're going to want a copy of this, and you're particularly going to want to put it in play when your opponent's down to one prize card less, because then the 2 prize cards isn't an issue at all. The extra tankiness is really good. So
Yeah,
260,
yeah.
and you can get an extra 50 on it. So now you can be at 310, um, and attack for free and do 240. That's just awesome. I mean, so it's a very good card. I think it's going to go in a lot of decks. I think though, I think it's just a tech that goes in decks, and I don't know that it's going to shake things up too much. It may. Now the downside is people you might not want to take prizes early in the game, and that won't be positive. Everyone wants to just sit back.
Yeah. One thing about this, it's really tanky as a basic, so you can play on
Yeah,
control as
that's
well.
what I was just thinking because
Um,
we've Snorlax stall is going to get better post rotation, I think, and then you put this in the deck. And also I'm looking forward to the new mill deck as well, right? So I can splash this in there too, and they get going. I'm milling them, and if that's not the strategy to mill, boom, I just start running through them.
yeah. Um, Next up, we have Screamtail EX. This is not very good. It can support a lock, but once.
What do you mean
Next up,
once?
Only on one of the second turn going. No, yeah, second turn.
Oh,
Oh no, first turn going second. Yeah, there we go. Um, so
and
yeah,
this. Okay, it's a psychic Pokemon, and the second attack isn't all that good. So, right.
yeah. But we need to have a talk about Iron Thorns EX. I've heard a few people say this card's really good,
Hmm.
but I think they're YouTubers and they're just like hyping things up because it's bad, or not bad, but its ability, and this so it's a future Pokemon, 230 HP, decent
Hmm.
stats. Attack 140, lightning, colorless, and then you move an energy from this Pokemon to one of your bench Pokemon. Not awful by any means, pretty okay.
Yeah.
But that the ability here, initialize, well, it's in the active. It's path. Its ability is path. It turns off other rule box Pokemon abilities, including your own, except for future Pokemon, because it's future
So turning off items for rule box. Yeah, I mean, look, we're losing past
abilities.
abilities. Sorry, so we're losing past of the peak. So this kind, and so we're going to have a period without ability lock on the EXs, and then we're going to get that back with this. So I think, yeah, I mean, I like ability lock as a mechanic in the game. Um, and obviously, I think these ancient and future boxes are an appealing thing. So, I think so. This could be a good card for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's like I don't think you're gonna put it in decks where you can't attack with it though.
So you're gonna have to have lightning energy, and you're either not gonna have abilities or you're gonna be in a future box,
Well, I
right?
mean, you can run like Babero.
Right. You can run, yeah, you can run non-rule box abilities, um, but you're not gonna want to play your Charizard EX, your Arceus, your Radiant Greninja with this probably.
Yeah, I think this is like fine. Um, some people are saying it's really good, and I don't think it's really good.
No,
Some people are saying it's like as good as Path, and I think that's like, I mean, it's not. It's not really like Path because it's just it's specific, not bad. It's decent.
right, and it's a Pokemon to put in play, which you don't necessarily. Right, the other's a path to the stadium, so which
Yeah, I mean, if this could worked from the bench, I mean, it would be about as good as Path, but it doesn't.
that's true. It has to be active, so well, yes, and that's questionable. So you need to be able to attack with it. So you're gonna need a deck that can attack with this, but it's not a great attack on itself. So you need other attacking options too, and depending on the situation, you swing with this one, right?
Yeah, I think the good thing about it is its energy attack cost is very similar, and directly better in fact than Iron Hands' attack cost, which is obviously teched into other things. So
Yeah,
anything you're playing Iron Hands in, or Iron Hands EX, I should say, you can put this card in as well.
yeah. I mean, this will see play in decks, not as much as the Blood Moon Ursaluna EX though.
Yep. Next up, there's an Applin and a Diplin. If you play GLC, yeah, you can use this Applin. The Diplin is bad. So Diplin evolves, but not in this set. So yeah. Um,
Okay.
Fion is bad. Heron it's like Pokemon communication but doubled, but it's a supporter, which isn't good, I think, right?
Well, okay. So,
Um,
well, Pokemon Communication was a good card though.
it
So
was good, but it was also an item. It was like
no, I get it. You probably don't want this in decks. There may be something that wants this, but I'm not certain. There may be some odd deck that likes it, but generally, no, it's
yeah.
not that good.
Mhm. Then we have a reprint of Enhanced Hammer. That
Wow.
is surprising. That surprised me. I think this card's
Yeah.
good. I mean, it was really good. There's not a ton of special energy being played. There's double
Right.
turbo, and that's about it. Because like all the battle styles ones are rotating.
Yeah. I mean, I probably before Enhanced Hammer rotates, there will be more special energy in the game. I would assume over the next couple of years.
Yeah, we have like 3 years, so it should be.
Right. So obviously, getting rid of a DTE is good also. And this certainly gets, Snorlax gets better. So that's what we all want to see happen, right?
Yep. I mean, it's not that much of a buff to Starlax. I don't know if it probably wouldn't. It might play this, but it might not.
Yeah, it's not the hugest thing. It's certainly a blow to Arceus because, Arceus, you attach your DTE turn one. If they knock that off on your opponent's turn, then you also you can't do your Arceus attack like you wanted. And that is a big blow there.
Yeah, a decent amount of time you just attach a basic energy as well,
Right.
or you attack like you're going second, and you attack with the Arceus V or whatever. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a little annoying for that deck. Um, I don't think there's too much to say about that though.
No.
And then we have community center and caretaker. They're kind of bad. Like they're bad, and then they like work together to be like bad. Um, we don't really need to talk about them too much right now. Lucky
Okay.
helmet. That card also isn't very good. Um, and then we have unfair stamps. You
Well,
wanna
no,
you wanna
lucky
read this one?
helmet though. If you're active and you're damaged, you draw 2 cards. So
It's like it's like it's like it's like really bad against mill. Actually, no, you're probably not getting hit, but if you are, it's really bad against mill.
yeah, and maybe control likes it too, right? You draw,
No,
right?
it's bad. No, it's bad if you're playing this against mill. Then you're gonna deck out faster.
Correct.
I'm
But if look, I'm playing Snorlax Stall. I probably do. I drop this one in.
probably not. I don't know. I'd say no.
Okay. All right. So, but the big one is the A spec, right?
Yeah,
So unfair stamp, and it's got unfair in the name, so we can all we know.
maybe it doesn't actually have unfair in the name. It
Well,
has.
it in this translation it has it right. We
Yeah,
don't know the official translation. You can play this only if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your last turn, which we're losing Raihan, so we're getting something like that back. Very different though. Each player shuffles their hand into their deck. You draw 5, your opponent draws 2, and it's obviously one in the deck because it's an A spec. So it's good, right? I mean, Reset Stamp was a good card. Now that wasn't an ace spec.
yeah.
Uh,
Well, yeah. Reset Stamp's different.
it is.
It's kind of like Ace Trainer. I think there's a card like Ace Trainer as well. It's kind of like Iono. It's very much like
Yeah.
Roxanne, but these are
Hmm.
all supporter. Well, Reset Stamp isn't a supporter.
Right.
I think the good thing is also Shuffle Draw 5 is pretty good. I mean, not on its own, but like, I mean, as an item, it's good. Obviously, I think this is arguably this might be the best ace spec. Originally, I didn't think this, but
Oh,
um, it's always like the issue with because Prime Catcher is probably regarded as the best ace spec, right?
yeah, probably. I mean, it depends on the deck. This is for a single prize deck. This might be the best thing, right? I don't think
I mean,
multi prize decks. You're not getting knocked out as much, so you're not getting as much value.
but I
You're
mean,
not,
you're only playing it once anyway.
but you might not have it the turn you need it. Is my point. Whereas if you're getting knocked out 5 to 6 times with a single prize deck, you're going to be able to unfair stamp sometime.
Yeah, I think the thing about I like about unfair stamp is when you look at like an ace spec, if you look at an opening hand and you just have
Yeah.
prime catcher, like that's not, and your
Hmm.
hand's like bad, that's not doing anything. But if you have unfair stamp, as
Yeah.
soon as you get knocked out, you're like back in it, not completely back in it, but you're somewhat back in it, assuming you have a bench Pokemon.
Right.
So in that sense, it's kind of like almost like computer search, which if you start like in an awkward position, it can get you out of that. So I think that's why it's good. And of
Hmm.
course, it disrupts your opponent. I mean, it's a good card. I don't know. I don't know if I'd say it's the best ace spec, but it's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's fine. The fact that you only have one in your deck is good. If you could have 4 in your deck, that would not be good, I don't think. So,
Yeah,
and the fact that you draw 5 is probably a fair number. I kind of wish it would have 6 or something like that, but then maybe it would be too good, right? Because you're getting
yeah, that's
5,
what I was thinking.
which is good, but 5, you're probably not going to hit the card you want still from that, right?
Maybe, yeah. It depends. I mean, like if you have, yeah, if you're just using that, then no. But if you have like a lot of supporters and items, or if you have like an onboard draw engine, then you have a decent chance of hitting what you want.
Right, if you have an engine, because then you can get something else more after. But if you already have an engine, this is less useful. But look, I think it's a good card. I think it's a pretty balanced card. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's one of the top ace specs out there. I think. Although I believe the most played ace spec in Japan was Master Ball
I don't
recently.
think that's true. I think it like I'm
You
pretty
think that
sure
that was
that's not
wrong?
true. I think there was like the big tournament and it won
Right.
the big tournament. I don't know if it's actually the most played.
I
Um,
think that's what people said. But again, I think Japan, the cards are available immediately on release, and that
oh
there
yeah,
might not
so
have been time to get the cards. Whereas you could play your old Master Ball, which so those
yeah,
cards
so
existed.
people might only have Master Ball in this case. That's the best.
Yeah.
One thing with Unfair State, you can combo it with Trevenant V, I think. Is that the right card? Oh,
I-
never mind. I'm being stupid. It rotates.
Okay.
Um, so never mind. Yeah, you can combo with things that disrupt hand though, right?
You're
So,
you're playing it
um,
with the one that grabs 2 cards from their hand, right?
no,
Or
they're
discards
items.
2. Well,
They're
there's an
items.
attack too, right? That does
No, that was
something.
Trevenant V, I think. I mean,
Um,
Trevenant V does that,
yeah.
which I don't know if that's what you're thinking of. That's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
But there are ways. Oh no, there's Arbok EX.
Yeah,
Is that what you're
Arbok
thinking?
EX. That's what I was thinking of. Yes.
Yeah, Arbok EX. Yeah, so you could do that. That's pretty good, I guess. I mean, it's kind of weird. It's 3 darkness energy on a stage 1, which isn't like impossible to power up by any means, but it's not super easy either.
Right.
I think this is actually pretty decent though. Again, and this will encourage people to have onboard draw engines. And then you said
Hmm.
the issue with Ursaluna EX that it will, or Blood Moon Ursaluna EX, it will encourage people not to take knockouts,
Yeah.
which this might also, which is a little annoying.
Right. Playing slow maybe I mean, longer games are good in general, but games where, I don't enjoy a reversal energy mirror match, whatever they're playing, where people are like trying, oh, you got to take the knockout first or I can't do anything, right? And those type of games aren't real fun.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I don't know. I think games are can be. I played a Control versus Mill game the other
Hmm.
day.
Yeah.
And it was fun. I lost. I misplayed.
Okay.
I was playing Control. Normally Mill's favorite as well, but I misplayed. I could have won. It was really complicated. I hadn't played Control in a while. It was actually in a post rotation. I was playing in person with
Hmm.
some people.
Okay.
Um, and so they were playing the Great Tusk Mill.
Yeah.
Um, and I messed up. I mean, there's a lot of complexities,
Hmm.
but I think that's fun. Although the other person was not enjoying it. So
Well, they're playing nil, so they shouldn't complain about your deck either, right? Neither of you should
no,
complain about
yeah,
your opponent's
yeah.
deck.
Um, I think it was like their first time trying like real, or their like second time like
Okay.
ever. And they're like, this isn't fun. I just like sat here. I just like this. It was like turn like 50 or something.
Hmm.
Anyway, so speaking of broken cards, that transition didn't really work.
No.
We were kind of talking about unfair stamp, and then we kind of stopped. So
Yeah.
anyway, we were talking about, if you saw the title and thumbnail, the main thing we're talking about is the best cards of all time.
Yeah.
And so, where do you want to start, or should I just choose
Why
somewhere?
don't you start because you brought this up as a topic, and at this point we of course we're recording this before we have a title and thumbnail, so hopefully you're going to come up with a good thumbnail
What are you
for
talking
this.
about? When everyone clicked on this, they saw the title and thumbnail, and now after they clicked on it, now we're talking to them. So we obviously already have
Okay.
a title. No. So I'll talk about this article. It's from the website Wargamer. I think I think Warhammer is the game it's about. I'm not very familiar with things that aren't Pokemon, to be honest.
Okay.
But this is a list, a top 10. Well, it's a top 11 list by someone. I don't know if this person necessarily plays the Pokemon TCG. This was from 3 weeks ago. We have two articles, and
Yep.
they should both be linked down below in the description and on the YouTube video. I don't know about other platforms. But the one article is good. This first one is very decent,
Yeah.
especially for someone who doesn't necessarily play the game, although they might.
Hmm.
And I think they do. I actually don't know. It's pretty good though. And then on the other card, the other article is not. Well, you'll see. But so this list has 11 cards that
Yep.
are considered the greatest of all time. And before getting into this, I want to say that I, 10 types, know a bunch about the history of the Pokemon TCG. Uncommon Fossil knows less, but still,
Yes.
I was gonna say a bunch.
I know
Would you
some
say a bunch?
things. I don't.
Yeah.
I would not, but you can if you wish.
Okay, you know a ton. You're just like an absolute genius. So we're starting off with and oh, so there's just 11 list cards here, and then a short like phrase to say why they belong on this list.
Right.
So first of all, you have Zoroark GX, a versatile KOing monster. I think that's fair. It's good. This card, I think, hot take, Zoroark GX is a little overrated. Um, I think it was in a very popular era, like a very well liked era of the game,
Hmm.
and it was good. Arguably the best Pokemon of that time. Arguably not. I'd actually say it's the second, but it was good. But I think people like overhype it a little too much. And also one thing, newer cards are generally stronger than older, or newer Pokemon are stronger than
Right.
older Pokemon. Um, and also both of these lists tend to lean towards stuff that's of what most people describe as the modern era, which is black and white on,
Yeah.
which is expanded on. And I think that's mostly what we're going to be talking about when we bring up our own cards. But Zoroark GX, and then Claydol from
I mean, look,
the
Zoroark has you discarded a card for its ability drew two, so it's Curlia, right? Which
yep,
is but that's a
good.
single prize, which might even be better than Zoroark's ability, and that evolves into a Gardevoir EX and the other Gardevoir into the other Gardevoir is probably a better attacker than this, right? So I don't know that Curlia Gardevoir is not a better combo than Zoroark.
Yeah,
But
and then your attack is Rider's Beating, which is 20, and then 20 more for each Pokemon in play. No, each of your Pokemon in play. I was going to say that didn't sound right. Which is directly worse. Well, it is 2 colorless. It's a stage 1. It's directly worse than Suicune V, though. Well, okay, it could be the same amount, but assuming your opponent has any bench Pokemon, it's directly worse. So that doesn't sound super good. At the time, it was very good, and it's colorless, so you can
right,
put it in any deck. Um,
yeah.
Claydol next up from I don't remember the set. I want to say it's like EX something. I kind of forget. Oh no, it's Great Encounters. Yeah, I don't know stuff before. I don't know sets before Black and White super well, or at least before Heart Gold Soul Silver.
So this is before this is pre-expanded, right? So we
Yeah.
can't play it. And is it before Legacy format as well?
Yeah. Legacy was pretty sure the cards that were in Legacy. It was like a year's worth of cards.
And that was just
So
Heart Gold Soul Silver, right? That's the Legacy, not in expanded.
yep.
Okay.
Although I don't know, Legacy doesn't like exist anymore. So
No, I know, but we
it's the
played on
Legacy.
PTCGO and out. So yeah, these cards we wouldn't have ever really played.
Yeah. So Claydol, it has its ability. Well, it's not an ability. It's a Poke Power, which is essentially an ability that says once on your turn, you may choose up to 2 cards from your hand and put them on the bottom of your deck in any order. The order doesn't obviously really matter. If you do, draw until you have 6 cards in hand.
Hmm.
So this is kind of like Babero or cards like that, but
Right.
better because you can use it if your hand's kind of clogged, which is really nice. So the Claydol was very good. And I feel like it deserves to be on this list.
Hmm.
It's very good. As I said, it's an older card. I'm not as familiar. Next up, we have Shaman EX. This hot take, maybe a little overrated as well, but its ability set up when you play this from your hand onto your bench. It's a basic draw till you have 6 cards in hand.
Yeah.
Same as Crobat V, or I don't know. I think there might have been other cards like it, but you can
Right.
use it as often as you like during your turn. So you can then scoop it up using a card like Scoop Up Net. Um,
Yeah.
and then that's broken. So without Scoop Up Net, it's not as good. It's without any form of scooping up, it's kind of underwhelming. Not bad. I mean,
Well,
still good, but
yeah. I mean, they fixed the problem with Crobat V by making that once per turn.
and also not having Scoop Up Net
Right.
interact with it.
Well, right. Scoop Up Nets when it was out, but it couldn't pick up the V's. They now this Shaman, is that banned from expanded right now?
Yeah, Shaman is banned. And Scooping is also banned. Shaman might get unbanned,
Right.
but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's good. It was good. They also mentioned Uxie or Uxie. I don't know how to pronounce it. Let me see. So I'm looking at PKMNcards.com. I don't use this site
Okay.
very much, but Uxie, I believe, is 7. I believe Uxie's better. Yeah, it's 7. So this is kind of weird. Everyone, like, Shaman's generally regarded as one of the best cards of all time. Shaman EX are
Hmm.
a very good card
Yeah.
at the very least. And Uxie's better. Like, it's just better. But then it did. I mean, it wasn't. It was played some. It was a good card, but not anywhere near as good as Shaman EX. And this is kind of weird. So, Uncommon Fossil, would you say it's like? Would you say Shaman's better? Or would you say Uxi's better? Because Shaman saw more play, but it's a worse card. I mean, ignoring the attack and stuff.
Wait. Uxie. Which Uxie is it? Oh, I
It.
see. With setup on it.
Yeah.
You
Same
may
ability.
put
Make
Uxie from your hand onto your bench and draw till you have 7. Well, the other drew just 6, but you could put back. You had to put back at least 1 card, or you could put back 2 cards, so you could thin your hand some first, right?
Wait, what are you talking about? No, Shaman versus Uxie,
Yeah, Shaman.
not
Oh,
Claydol.
I see. Yeah, sorry. Which is better, Shaman versus
Yeah,
Uxie?
well, you say yeah, well, because Shaman saw more play and was better during when it was in play, when it
Hmm.
was in format. But Uxi's like a directly stronger card.
Yeah, I would say Uxie seems like the better card.
Okay, but I thought it's okay. Before you said the podcast, you said you weren't, or you were accounting for era.
Well, I am up to a point, is what I think up to a point. So it depends on how you ask me the question.
So,
Um,
well, so would you say in the all-time great cards list, would you put Uxie above Shaman? Yeah.
Now you're making me cough. Look, if you want to be spicy, you put Uxie above it because everybody says Shaman, right?
Yeah, well, no, but the older people might say Uxie. You never know. They may be like, what is this brand new card Shaman that came out like? 15 years ago. Was it 15? I think it's not 15. I think it's 10. Yeah, it's like 10 years ago.
Right, where Uxi's another 5 or 6 years older than that.
5 or 6. I think it's much
It's
older because
2008. It looks like to me.
okay,
Uxie.
so it's like okay, so um anyway, so I'd say same and spread, but it doesn't really matter.
Mm,
And we're talking newer cards.
yeah, yeah. Generally,
Next up we got
generally expanded cards, right? For the most part.
yeah. I was gonna say you want to
Mm.
read the next one, but it sounds like you're
No, I'm
dying over
kind of
there.
choking
So
over here, so you got to carry it.
um yeah. No, but now we're talking about us. It's Miraculous Duo. No, so Mewtwo
Hmm.
Mew GX
Hmm.
is a card here that is, I guess, on the newer side. Yeah, it looks like it is on the newer side. It's actually the second newest, I think, of the cards on this list.
Is it?
I'm scrolling through real
The
quick.
last card
Yeah, it is.
is in standard, right? If I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
the last card is in standard. So Mewtwo Mew, it copies GXs. This is weird. Or it copies EXs and GXs, but
Right. Capital
it
EXs. Which, if you're playing
yes.
expanded now, that matters because
Yeah, it does. Which is annoying, honestly, because then there's some cool EXs that you can't use. But anyway, so this is pretty good. It won a world championship. I think a lot of these won world championships. I think, yeah, I guess all of these won world championships. Not all of them. Most of these won world championships. But anyway,
yeah,
the ones that didn't were like banned or like
yeah. When a card
um
gets banned, that's a good reason to think it's good too.
yeah. Yeah. So anyway, where is it? It copies attacks. It was good. It's
Hmm.
obviously reliant on other cards. Um,
Right,
I don't know. I honestly don't know how like I think because the tag teams are very good. It being 270 HP on a basic is obviously very good.
right.
I don't know if I even think this is the best tag team.
This is the
I
only tag team, right,
Yeah,
on the
this is the only
list?
tag team on this
Yeah, I was
list
gonna
here.
say I don't know that. Look, this was a good card. You played this card a fair amount. I didn't really play it
I
too
played
much.
it some. It was kind of hard to get on PCGO.
Yeah, I mean, I think ADP might have been better though as a tag
Yeah,
team.
that's what I was thinking. ADP. So there's ADP, there's Picrom, and there's Reshazard. Reshazard
Right,
was
Reshazard
only
could be
good
better.
because of the supporting stuff, though. I think.
Well, because there's so much good fire stuff out there. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah, which like very much synergized with it. So
Yeah,
I don't know. And then Pikarom, debatably also a world champion.
yeah.
Um,
Pikarom
but that
relied
like
on the rest of the deck too, though. Pikarom wasn't that great in and of
it
itself,
did. Yeah, I
right?
know. That's why like it's HP, its damage, its attacks just aren't as good. Not bad, but like they're not amazing.
Yeah,
I think I'd say ADP is the best GX tag team GX.
yeah,
Um,
probably. And I like Leaf
Anyway,
Metal, but
Mewtwo Mew GX is good. Yeah, Leaf Metal is good, but it's not
yes, I mean, Mewtwo Mew could be top 10. I'm not sure. I don't think it's the
top
top.
10 what all time.
Maybe, but I think you have to put
I don't know.
ADP
I
ahead
think
of it, so it probably doesn't make the list.
I don't think any tag teams are top 10 all time. We're not actually making a list in this video, but I
Right.
actually don't know. We might. Next up, we got a card that I have an even hotter take on, Slow
Okay.
King. Hot take. This card like doesn't exist. So
What do you mean? I see the image here.
it's like this isn't a real card. No.
Could you
So
play
Slow
it though?
King. Yeah. So
All right. Go, go,
so this
go.
is a card. Its ability is this Pokepower, but its ability said whenever your opponent plays. So if it's in play, whenever your opponent plays a trainer, they flip a coin. If tails, the trainer like doesn't work essentially.
Yeah.
I think I said it wrong. I think it's heads. But anyway, and so that's good. I
Hmm.
think they keep the trainer, it doesn't get discarded.
It
But
goes on top of
um,
their deck.
yeah. But then but this card wasn't supposed to stack, which it was just still been like decent, but
Hmm.
um, like 50% chance they can't use it like the trainer,
Right.
which is obviously disruptive, but it's not like completely game breaking. But then it was because then you could stack it, and then you could play 4 or maybe 3 or whatever, and then you need to flip a bunch of coins in a row and then
Yeah.
have them all heads or whatever, all tails, I think. Um, and then and then from that point on, like you just can't really play trainers, right? So
Right, which is huge. I mean, because item lock we know is significant in the game, but if you luck out all trainers, I mean that's you're not doing much in Pokemon. You really you
yeah, and
have
I'm
to
pretty
have
sure
trainers.
this is like trainers, not items. I don't know. I kind of forget. I
The-
know this is like an important thing because like trainers and items are like, I don't know. They Pokemon out of these weird rulings or the weird naming things that I didn't like.
right.
which is partially why I don't like talking about like even Legacy. They had trainers, but trainers weren't trainers; they were items. Um,
Yeah.
Trainer was a subclass of trainer, which to me like doesn't make sense, right? But I mean they just make EXs and then EXs and then EXs, so they do stupid things anyway.
Yeah.
But including this, where they translated this card wrong and then they didn't do anything. They didn't errata it or like ban it. I mean, I think they banned it eventually,
Hmm.
but not for a while.
So do you know, was the card in Japanese? Was it not stacking in Japanese? Do you know?
Yeah, it wasn't stacked in Japanese. It was you'd have one. So I think there's like a line. I think they just like forgot that line or
They
something.
Okay. Well, that's a big miss. I'm surprised they didn't errata it. At this point, they would have errata the
This was like
card.
back in the olden days when they'd like I don't know, Pokemon just wasn't as I don't know. I mean, this was a long, long time ago. Back in
Two
before color was invented.
except for this card, right?
Exactly. Yeah, except for this card. Um,
Yeah,
no, so
that's not good. That making that mistake.
yeah, I mean, so this card is a bit of a train wreck. I guess I could put it on like I mean, it's really broken.
Hmm.
As I said, I don't really consider it like an actual card though.
Yeah. So
So
was this card banned while it was still in standard format?
yeah, I think it was banned like pretty late into its time in standard though. Yeah,
Okay.
here it says from it was really good from 2000 to 2002,
Okay.
which is pretty much the whole time.
Oh, yeah. So it was around
It
for
was
2 years
banned.
and banned, but they're only at like around for 2.5 years.
Yeah. Um. Anyway, okay. Next up, we have Cleffa. Cleffa. I don't know. I don't know all the history behind this card, but pretty much it stops your opponent from like attacking half the time. It's a baby Pokemon. It has like an attack that's like good.
Right.
Um, it's weird. I think it had to. It was like really good against the meta, like absurdly good against the meta. This I know very little about this era of Pokemon and like this card, but I know this card was good.
Hmm.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
Uncommon Fossil. Do you know much more
well, I'm
about it?
trying to remember. So it's there's a baby Clef out now too, correct? That um
Well, yeah. Well, this is actually a baby mechanic though. So this it's stage. I guess it is.
it's a baby,
It is a basic, but it's also a baby.
right? And there
And
were
whenever your
special
opponent
baby
tries to attack,
rules. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah. So when your opponent tries to attack, they flip a coin. If tails it, that doesn't attack.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I thought they had another rule. I don't know. They had baby Pokemon a bunch of times. They had like free retreat. Sometimes had free
Right.
attacks. Had like no weakness resistance. Um, they're kind of weird cards, to be honest.
And I think there are
Oh, you can
ways.
evolve them, yeah. Um,
Yeah. That what
which
babies
didn't
were.
I don't think it mattered that much.
Okay. Babies changed over time, and I think there is some way to make it so they had to flip more than one head to like knock you out too. I think. I'm not sure
Maybe
though.
there might have been some cards that would combo with. But anyway, Cleffa. I mean, it's like good. I'd probably put it. I guess I'd put it top 10. It's a card I don't know much about. And also, again, like if this card is in format today, it would be like I don't know if it would be any good. It might be okay, but I don't think it would be like broken or anything.
Probably not. And I've heard discussions about it because this was a long time ago, and well before we played. So none of the cards that interacted have we played with. I think it fixed some problem in the game at the time. I think, but I don't
Yeah,
remember what that
that doesn't
was.
necessarily mean it's like broken. I mean, it can mean it's broken.
No.
I guess it needs to be good to fix it. But anyway, like if this was in the form of today, you'd be like, oh, look, I got this Iron Valiant. Oh, I won. Right. So, yeah, Clefairy is good, but old. Yeah. Next up, we have Mewtwo EX. This is a bit of an infamous card. It does X Ball 20 times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon
Right.
for 2 colorless, and then it's weak to itself, so you just like smash each other with Mewtwo EXs back and forth. And
Hmm.
it was kind of silly. And this was like when there's like a lot of basic Pokemon. Mewtwo EX is just really good. Um, and I guess it might be the best Pokemon EX. I'd say it's second or third
Okay.
behind Shaman, and then potentially another card that we'll talk about.
Hmm. Because there's double colorless energy, which was in format,
Yeah,
which powered up. And honestly, that's not on these lists, but that could be one of the best cards ever too, right?
yeah, double colorless it was very good. I mean, it kind of depended. Like if it was in format now, it wouldn't be bad. It would be like decent, but uh, a lot of the times, like certain cards are made with it in mind. Like Mewtwo EX is made with it in mind.
Right.
Um, and some of these cards were like Zoroark GX is kind of made with it in mind, but Yeah, I mean, and Double Colorless Energy is a very good card. It was also in format for a really long time.
Hmm.
I don't know if that I personally wouldn't. I don't know if I'd say that makes it better. I mean, obviously, it means it saw more play, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, well, right. It is more universal, right? Whereas a card like Mewtwo EX goes in a deck. So is something specific better than something people like the specific, and people like Pokemon and the Pokemon trading cards over over trainers and energies too.
yeah, yeah. Next up, we have the only trainer on this list.
Yeah.
And it's Lysandre's trump card. One thing, so I think people misinterpret this card. In this article, misinterprets this card, but it says each player shuffles all cards. It says support each player shuffles all cards in their deck from the disco pile, no, from the disco pile into their deck,
Right.
except for Lysandre's trump card. But there's a card that recovered like supporters, so you pretty much it recovered everything.
Hmm.
Um, Obviously, this is kind of broken, arguably. So people
Well,
always say the reason this card.
well, it depends what you're trying to do. I mean, if you're a deck that's trying to just take prizes, you don't. This would be just a waste of your supportive return.
Yeah, but well, it was really good with Shaman EX.
Hmm.
So well, I mean, it's also really good. It like recovers resources. Like it means you can just
Right.
turbo through your deck. Like
Hmm.
say you have a deck with like Dark Red V-Star, which isn't that good of a deck. I don't know why this is the example I thought of. You play for Dark Patch,
Yeah.
or there are other decks that play for Dark Patch.
Hmm.
But like a deck that plays for Dark Patch, you want to play. If you could play those 4 every turn, it's really good. So you
Yeah.
can just turbo. You can play a turbo deck, but you can turbo every turn, which is why it's broken.
Hmm. You
This issue and this. hmm,
you can get back your ace back every turn as well.
Yeah, that's true. When was this? I don't remember. But it was played with some stuff. It was played with Seismitoad EX, which we'll talk about, which
Hmm.
was kind of broken. So you'd like item lock your opponent and then recover all their cards, and then they'd have all these items that they can't play, and then you play all your items.
Hmm.
But then your opponent would also play Seismitoad EX. So pretty much you'd just be Lysander's trump carding, and then item locking, and that was about it. Um.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then this card got banned. But
And this
some
card's
people
also
say,
banned. Well, this card's also banned from GLC, correct? If I remember,
yeah,
didn't it? You
yeah,
used to.
banned, expanded.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to play this. I have an art. So there's a GLC website, and I have an article on it.
Hmm.
And I have this card in my deck.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't banned at the time. But I'm pretty sure. But anyways,
Yeah. Go ahead.
a lot of people say that this was banned because it wiped out a win condition, which is technically true. I mean, it is true, but
Hmm.
that win condition is deck out, which is rare and not the main win condition. Quite frankly, it's
Right.
like at all. It's not like it's just there so that the game doesn't go on forever. Now, this card can cause the game to go on forever, but there are other cards that can do that as well. So I feel like people say that's the reason it was banned, and it's not. It was banned because it was broken, not because it eliminated a win condition that, quite frankly, wasn't really going to happen anyways. I mean, it could happen. It's not like it was impossible or anything. Um, but
Right.
I don't think it was banned because it eliminated the win condition.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, decking out's still a thing, but they print Pidgeot V, which is obviously just a simple way to avoid decking out and stuff. So, um, yeah, I don't think that's a reason in and of itself.
Yeah, I mean, didn't you say you wanted Pidgeot V banned at like some point?
Oh, I think that would, well, and that is that rotating or not? Now that I think about it.
No, it's not.
Okay. I mean, back. I think. Here's what I'll say. In Snorlax Stall, I think it's evolved to the point it's more interesting now. They're more teched out like a control deck than it was originally. The fact that you can just play 4 Pidgeot Vs in like your. I mean, for Snorlax and just play a Pidgeot V, and you could play Stall pretty mindlessly. I didn't think was good.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
guess.
anyway,
Anyway, so and then I think we have so we have one card. We have Mega Gengar EX. So Mega Gengar EX
yeah.
is not that.
Is what?
I don't know. It's kind of bad. I mean, not bad. It wasn't like awful. I like this card a lot actually. It's really fun in Mewtwo and
Mm-hmm.
Mew GX decks. It's not even necessarily played in all the Mewtwo and Mew GX decks. It's not played in like I don't even know if it's played in the majority. It probably isn't.
Mm-hmm.
In expanded, right? This card isn't very good. So it copies one of your opponent's attacks. I didn't play too much during this era, but I've heard a lot of the decks, and I like hadn't heard of this card really being played in standard, and I don't think it
Mm-hmm.
was. So I don't know why this card's on this list. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
well, and there's the mega evolution rule that when you evolved into it, your turn ended. So the idea was these were powerful cards, but if it ends your turn, that's a big
yeah. I
drawback.
mean, you have the spirit links though. I'm pretty sure. I'm assuming this had a spirit link.
So, which is a
Uh,
tool that
yeah, it
stopped.
did.
So your turn from ending, correct?
Yeah. At first I thought all the megas had spirit links, but then I saw like somewhere that they didn't, which I guess is true. I don't
Okay.
know. All the ones I've seen play certainly had spirit links.
Hmm.
Um, because obviously not ending your turn is good. Although I made a video talking about all the mechanics, and I said I didn't like spirit links. I think they're kind of annoying because they're kind of silly because
Hmm.
you have this interesting mechanic where, as you said, you like get punished, and not punished, but there's a big downside and a big upside, but then you
Right.
just remove the downside. So
Yeah, I mean, you have to put at least one copy of that tool in your deck, and you have to get access to it. So it may be balanced. It just
I
depends.
mean, yeah, I think it might be balanced, but I don't think it's necessarily interesting.
Okay.
It's just like, oh, you need this tool on this Pokemon. Anyway, next up we have Tapu Lele GX, which is an amazing support Pokemon card, as it says. That is very generic. But it searches for a supporter on play, and its other attack energy drive, or its main attack energy drive. Why
Hmm.
is this image blurry?
Yeah.
Its attacks the same as Mewtwo EXs. It was later, but it still saw a lot of play. It was colorless. It does not hit weakness,
Hmm.
and also is not like weak to anything. This card was incredibly good. They actually changed the supporter rule. After this rotated, I believe. Um,
But by that,
but
it was you could play supporter turn one going first. Is that what you
yes,
mean?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that was obviously useful. Having more access to your supporters when they're better is obviously good. This
Yeah.
card was good. Um,
Right. And again, double
yeah,
colorless
its attack
energy
was
is important, right? That double
yeah,
colorless, you need that.
definitely. Yeah, that's probably the reason people would attack with this. If you didn't have double colorless, it's pretty terrible to attack without it. I mean, maybe if you had some other acceleration, but
Right.
yeah, I'm trying to think of a deck that would play this with energy acceleration that wouldn't play double colorless.
Hmm.
There's like a Magnezone. There are actually two Magnezone that were like the same but different.
All right.
Um,
All right, sorry. I have a question for you here. So if this is one of the top 10 cards of all time, and everyone talks about how great this card was, right? So
yeah, they do, and I think it's very good. I think this is probably the best Pokemon GX or best non-tag team.
okay.
I think it's the best. I think it probably is
So
second
so
best
here's my
actually.
question where I'm going to it's largely for its ability, correct?
Yes.
So
Are you gonna talk about Lapras?
no, I'm going to say but right now we have a Pokemon in the game right now with the same ability, right? Illuminion V.
Yeah.
And it's not even close to. It's obviously not only is it not a top 10 card of all time. It's not a top 10 card right now, and I don't know if it's a top 50 card right now. So how can
Yeah.
this card that the biggest part's the ability be the same as the ability right now, and how can it be so much better than Luminion V?
I think it has to do with the supporter rules. So damage is now higher. So that means, or like generally it's higher.
Hmm.
I think power creep gets exaggerated
Yeah.
some, but it still is like a factor. So Lumineon's getting one shotted. Tapu Lele isn't necessarily getting one
Hmm.
shotted. Its
Okay.
attacks noticeably better. Like Tapu Lele's attacks pretty decent, and then the supporter rule is a pretty big deal as
Okay.
well.
Hmm.
Um, so getting turn one supporters is obviously important if you can. I mean, in
Okay.
standard, getting a turn one supporter going second is very important, right?
It is. Yeah, it is. I mean, look, the attack is clearly better than Luminion V. Most decks can't attack with Luminion V that play them.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, yeah. So there are a bunch of reasons. Oh, path. That's also a reason. Like
Hmm.
if it doesn't work, it's not as good. And there wasn't really anything shutting down Tapu Lele for the most part.
Okay. All right. So part of it
But
was the
now we come to
situation.
yep. But now we come to your card, the card that
To the
the
goat,
only
right?
card on this list that you played with. I don't know if that's true,
I
but
played with
have you played
Mewtwo and
Mewtwo and
Mew, I
Mew?
think, a little bit.
Have
A little bit. It always
okay.
confused me. Yeah, so Arceus
Yeah.
V-Star, which is a tremendous card, right? Its ability, Starbirth, is amazing, right? Search your deck for any two cards once during the game. Very good. And the attack, Trinity Nova, 200, a solid amount. You're not one-shotting things, but you're two-shotting everything, and that's okay. And then you're powering up your other V Pokemon in the process, right? Very good. Accelerate 3 energies to your Vs. So very, very good card.
Yeah, I think this is do you think this deserves to be on top 10 best cards of all time?
Uh,
Or I guess of the modern era is probably how we're doing this. But yeah, to me it's close.
maybe. I think I think it's borderline probably, but it certainly some of these other cards in the list probably don't belong here though. I think, right?
Which ones? Which ones? I think this is a pretty good list. I mean, they're mostly newer. I'd take out. Oh, I'd take out Mega Gengar,
Yeah,
right? Without Mega
Mega
Gengar, this is 10
Gengar.
cards, and it's
Um,
um.
yeah, I think Mewtwo and
As I said,
Mew
I'd take out
doesn't belong, but probably put ADP in instead.
maybe. I don't know. I think ADP is about a very similar power level to Mewtwo and Mew. I drop um. I drop, as I said, I drop Slow King. I know some people think that's kind of a silly take, but I don't really count it.
Hmm.
I might drop Mewtwo EX as well. I mean, it was good. It was
Hmm.
very good. I don't know. I think it's I think Seismitoad EX is better than Mewtwo EX personally, which says 30 an item lock for one double colorless. I mean, it was part of the ban combo with Lysander's Trump card and Shaman EX. So having 3 cards from one deck on the top 10 seems kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then as we mentioned, Shaman EX, Uxi's like directly better. Lapras is directly better than Hapu Lele. Wait, is that
Hmm.
Lapras? I don't remember this card super well. I can't spell. Oh, there's a lot more Okay. Um, yeah, it is just Lapras. It's not like some Lapras something. So,
All
yeah,
right.
I don't know though. Next up, what do you want to move?
Well,
Do you want
well,
to
well, hang
move
on.
to
Let me just say here.
celebrations?
Let me just say this is the reason I might not put it on the list. Though I'm going to give you the negative. I think it might
Which one?
Arceus V Star because it was the best deck and format for one set, the best card for one set. Then Palkia came out
I
and
don't
blew,
know. It's a
and
few
then it
sets.
kind of came back though. Palkia, it had more lasting power than Palkia. And then Mew came out a couple sets later in white. In that, so it's, yeah, I
I
don't
think that's
know.
true for most of the attackers on this list, though. Well, how many attackers are there? Oh, there's only like one attacker. Are there's Zoroark? Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Well,
it's true for
Mewtwo and
Zoroark
Mew.
GX. Yeah, it's true for Mewtwo and Mew, and it's true for there's there not another one? Oh, there's my Gengar, but that one wasn't very good. Yeah, so it's true for pretty much every attacker.
Okay.
I think it's the least true for Mewtwo EX, I guess. I'm trying to think through, but I mean, it wasn't like the best card the whole time it was in format or anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
and like even Zorg GX is regarded as super good, and I agree with that. But I mean, tag teams came out and it didn't beat tag teams. Like it didn't really compete with tag teams. So,
Right.
um, anyway, so where do you want to go next? The other article or celebrations?
Well, let's see. You want to talk about the other articles some, right? I mean, we're getting long. I don't.
Yeah.
Do you want to skip celebrations and just do the
Let's
article?
actually fly through celebrations.
Okay. And by this you
So
mean
I'll
the
just go.
and you mean the older cards and celebrations, not the ones that were the
Yeah.
standard cards.
Yeah. So celebrations was a mini set. It had like some regular cards, but then it also had reprints of older cards.
Right.
Let's see which ones do we need to talk about. Blastoise, Charizard, Venusaur, not there. Some people would put Blastoise, but it doesn't belong there. I'm just gonna tell you that. I mean, it's fine, but um,
Okay.
anyway, Imposter Professor Oak doesn't. Dark Gyarados doesn't. Here comes Team Rocket doesn't. I don't know much about Rocket Zapdos. I know it was okay. Um, I don't think it belongs here. Blanks Pikachu was banned because it didn't. You could like cheat by like lying about your birthday. Yeah, Cleffa, we just
Yeah.
talked about.
Right.
Yeah, there's some weird cards in this list. Cleffa, I think yes, but it's old. Shining Magikarp, I don't know. I'm assuming this card is pretty terrible.
I'm not
Team
sure.
Magma's Groudon. I do you know much about? I don't know much about this card.
No, I do
I'm
not.
assuming yeah.
It's a
I know it was
Pokebody.
like decent. I'm trying to think. I think it was decent. I'm trying. Yeah, I really don't know much about it. I know it was pretty decent. I don't think it was like all time like great. I don't even know. I don't know what decks it was played. Like it was. I mean, I know what deck it was played in, but like it was the Team Magnus deck. Did this one Worlds? I think it did. Anyway, then we have Rockets admin. So we need to talk about Rockets admin, aka
Okay.
N, aka Iono. Iono and N are different. Rockets admin and N are the same though. Each player shuffles their hand to their deck
Hmm.
and draws a card for each prize card. Do you
Yep.
think this is an all-time great card?
Um, well, it depends how you mean great. Like if all time great in terms of broken, no. An all time great card in terms of really good for the TCG, yes. Does that make sense?
I guess. I mean, it's good. I don't think. I think it's like people think it's really good because it's in the format, and then it's not in the format. I
Right.
do. I think it's cool for the format. It can be a little, in my opinion, a little too disruptive late game to be like healthy for the format as well.
It could be. I mean, certain cards that won't get are discussed in these lists is like also like Reset Stamp, which was tremendously
Yeah,
rough.
reset stamp could be there. It was banned, right? I mean, it is banned and expanded.
Right, but it wasn't banned
Um,
in standard. So
yeah, I mean, it wasn't broken in standard though. I mean, you could do like handlock and like be annoying with it, but also it wasn't played that much. It was
no, well,
good, but
Pika-ROM was built around kind of falling behind in reset stamping a lot of times,
I guess.
in a
I mean, but
sense.
it's not like reset stamp was the most important. There are a lot of different things, like Marnie. There are a lot of different forms of disruption in that deck as well. So
Yeah, I'm just saying. Anyway, reset stamp could be one of these a card in contention too. But anyway,
yeah. Mew EX. This one was this the original Mew that like copied? I don't remember. I think this card was very good. Um, yeah, I don't know this card super well. I know there are a bunch of Mews like this, and I think this was the first one. I know the first one was like really broken.
oh, so this
I
could
don't know.
copy the attacks of all Pokemon in play, including
Yeah,
opponents too, right?
including all of your opponents and all of yours.
Right.
Which is very good.
Yes.
Gardevoir EX. I don't know this card. I don't really know this card much at all.
Hmm.
Um, this isn't like there's a broken Gardevoir. There have been a lot of broken Gardevoirs, or like very good Gardevoirs. Some very broken. This one is not it
Okay.
though. But the Gardevoir, there's like the ability lock, and there's a level X, and then there's a new EX.
Hmm.
And they're all like good. The GX, there are a lot of good ones, but yeah, Umbreon Star. No, I don't remember exactly how good this card was. It's kind
Okay.
of a different category because it's a Pokemon Star, which is like a Radiant Pokemon or like a it's pretty much like a Radiant Pokemon, which to me, like I feel like it's supposed to be better, and it is better, but like it's not like absurdly broken. Clay Doll we talked about. Luxray level X I know is very good. Garchomp
Hmm.
C level X I know a little bit less about, although I know they were played together. Good.
Okay. Hmm.
Not as good as Luxray level X I don't think. And again, old. Donphan Prime, hot
Hmm.
take, overrated card. I don't know if it's overrated. I know PTCG Radio likes it a lot. Um, I mean, it's on his profile picture, right? So
Yeah. So
you're
yeah.
just agreeing with.
No, I mean I don't know these cards. I have to read through and think about them to try and say something.
Well,
So
but you don't know the era. They're all different eras as well. So,
right.
um, Reshiram and Zekrom were like fine. I mean, they're not bad. They're cool. I like them. Oh, this Reshiram is really bright. I like can't see it very well.
Just the white washes everything out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is
But they're
hard to
cool
read.
cards. I mean, they're decent cards. Obviously, what Reshiram? Oh no, Zekrom was the. Were they both played? I really forget. No, okay, yeah, Zekrom was the one played in the Truth.
Okay.
I mean, okay, Donphan Prime was also played in the Truth, but which was a deck that came second place at Worlds. Um,
Hmm.
yeah.
All right. You said you're
Anyway,
gonna do this
Mewtwo
quickly,
EX.
so let's get a move
I
on
am.
here.
I'm doing this pretty quickly.
Okay.
Is there any? But we need to talk about them. We need to give each.
All right.
These are the greatest of all time. You're disrespecting the goats. So,
Okay. I thought these were just the greatest cards for collectors to spend their money to get
no,
of
these
all
no, these
time.
are good
No,
cards.
these are
These are good
players'
cards.
cards. Yeah.
Yeah, most of these are like greatest playable cards of all time. Or debatably,
Hmm.
kind of. So Mewtwo EX we talked about. Xerneas EX is not that good. I don't know why this one's here. I like actually don't know.
Oh, is there a better
Mega
fairy
Rayquaza.
Pokemon? Is this the best fairy Pokemon of all time?
No, no. I think
Okay.
I'd say. I mean, Gardevoir EX. No, sorry, Gardevoir GX won the World Championship.
Okay.
Um, I think yeah. I don't think it's that. Like it's fine. Mega Rayquaza. This card was good. Um, yeah. I don't know. I don't know too much about it. I mean, it was good. It's cool. I guess it's like
Mhm.
Eternatus. It's pretty much just Eternatus, but it's like old school Eternatus, which is fine. And then Lele.
Mhm.
But now we need to move to the top 30 cards of all time. This article is well, okay. So Uncommon Fossil, you want to read through the first three cards? I have not looked at all the cards. Have you? I think you
I
said you
think
did.
I scanned through them all. So now look, I'm just gonna say I don't think it's here either. But we're like card like Boss's Orders isn't like even under consideration for top 10 yet. I think it's kind of got to be. You know what I'm saying? So
Well,
these
Boss's Orders is directly worse than
or
certain other
Guzma.
cards, though, as well,
Well,
right? I mean, it's directly worse than Gust of Wind or old school Pokemon Catcher,
well,
right?
if you count
So,
those, but if you don't, probably those are too old to count, right? So therefore, Guzma or
well,
Boss
Pokemon
probably has
Catcher
to be
isn't. Well,
top
you
10.
could say, well, Pokemon Catcher isn't. I mean, it got errata,
Well, you
so
have to
technically you
flip a
could say it
coin
doesn't
on it
exist
now.
anymore.
Well,
Well, yeah, but like, but within the time period we're talking about, it's still you do
flip.
have like the old poke. You didn't have to flip for it in like black and white or whatever.
Well, if
I don't know when it was changed,
well, I mean, if
but
that counts, then that should probably be one of the top 10 cards of all time, right? I would think.
yes, it was balanced when it was in format as well.
All right. I'm saying a card like that gets no love. Anyway, we go to number 30 here, Colossal VMAX, and this was around when we were playing, and the card was good for one set, kind of good for one set, and
Well,
then
I
it,
don't know. I think it was the best card in a pretty terrible. Like in
yeah,
my mind, it's bad. Like that's how I think of it. It's not that bad, but
well, it hit Eternus for weakness, right?
yeah, but it didn't like one shot it. So,
No,
or it kind
and
of could.
it
Not
was
really.
maybe sort of kind of good. It was nowhere near as any. It's not the 30th best, the top 30 of all time, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe if you're counting expanded and not accounting for era, maybe, but like not really. And they don't say that. So they just said high HP. I'll admit it has high
right, which it
HP.
is.
Um, although not like not absurdly high. I mean, it's just quite high, but not like. I mean, there are other cards with high HP. And then its attack it does a ridiculous 240 damage, but it's 3 energy, or no, it's
It's
4
4
energy.
energy,
That's
though,
like
right?
it's not impossible to power up. Um,
Right,
I don't know.
but
So the issue with this article, like, it doesn't really give. So you could make arguments for. I mean, you couldn't really make arguments for all these cards, but
no.
like they don't make arguments. They just like say them.
Right. There's no way that belongs in the top. Black Kirim EX. I don't.
Card was not good. Is this the best? I don't think this is the better. I think there's a different Black Urim EX, uh, which was better. I
Was
don't
there?
remember super well. Yeah, no, I think so. I think the other one was
Okay.
played occasionally. Over the 3, I don't remember. They printed too many of these guys. Um, yeah, there's one that was played in Blastoise, but not this one.
Okay.
So this card's bad.
So it's not. Yeah.
Um,
There's not a reason to put it there. Mega Rayquaza EX, which
yeah,
was
we
in
just talked about it, but
celebrations.
not this one. No, but
Oh, is
this is
that?
the wrong one.
Oh, did they got
Or
the
this
wrong one
one,
again?
yeah, I don't know if they like. Yeah, the other one was better. This one, oh, I forgot about Delta Wild, the ancient trait. I honestly didn't really know that existed. Um, but anyway, so you can play this in Mewtwo and Mew, or no, you can play this in Regidrago because it does 300.
Okay.
Or Mewtwo and Mew, but probably not Mewtwo and Mew. But I mean, it's okay. Like it's okay in that deck.
In
Like
Regidrago
when
because you don't have
that
to pay
might
the energy
use
cost.
expanded deck. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, no, Regidrago's not niche and expanded. I guess it's pretty good, but still.
Right. All right. This next one, Gyarados VMAX.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have all our Blitzel on next week. Maybe. Spoilers. We might not. We were supposed to this week, but he's sick.
He's feeling not
Rip.
great. So
He
what
was
he's going
like
to say,
couldn't stream and stuff.
and he's going to defend Gyarados VMAX.
Yeah,
Is that what he's
he'll be
saying?
in here. I know he's played it with Arceus. Well, he's like winning tournaments with it and stuff. So
Yeah, I think that probably goes to show the strength of Arceus, right? Arceus with
yeah,
card
and all of
X.
Blitzel, who's a very good player.
Oh yeah, he's a very good online player. Really done very well in a lot of major online tournaments. So good player for sure. Yeah, look, I don't think Gyarados is a top card though, right?
I hate
Charizard,
it. No, yeah, this card's pretty bad.
and then
It's like the
Charizard
10th best
V
VMAX.
Star, and that it's like getting worse as we go on, right? I mean,
I don't know. I'd say Charizard V-Star might be better than Gyarados VMAX.
have you played
No, I'd say it's better than these earlier cards.
I don't know. Have you ever
But they're all
played
pretty
it?
bad. Like,
Have you? I mean, because I've wanted to try this card. I can't put it in a
no,
deck that
I'm
I
not
felt
really.
like
It's
there's
okay.
any
Like you
reason
can
I want it.
technically play it. It's not very good, but I think it was
No.
it's borderline playable.
Okay, borderline playable, which obviously doesn't belong here. Cleffa, but this is the wrong Cleffa, right?
Yeah, this is the wrong Cleffa. So or wait, no. So, yeah. I was like the art's definitely wrong. Yeah, no, this is just the wrong one. It's not bad. I actually don't know how good this Cleffa was. I think it might have been okay. So
Right.
I like, but it's not that good.
If it's a
Let's see.
sleep, it
It is
prevents all damage done to it. I don't know how you got it. So you'd attack, you go to
no, it's
sleep.
asleep when you attack. Yeah, it's
Yes.
okay. Um, but
So
also like, yeah, I mean, this isn't an absurd. Well, I don't know. It's strange. It feels like it's the wrong Cleffa. Like they meant to put the other Cleffa on.
yeah,
Um,
I'm not sure with the history of Cleffas, I gotta say. Shadow Lugia, this one I really don't
oh,
know.
this card. Okay, this card. This isn't a real card. This isn't. I mean, it's like technically a real card.
It's a cool
But then
looking
it should be
card.
number one. I mean, it's 300 HP. It does 1,000
Oh, a
damage.
thousand
But like,
damage. So what's this
um,
from? This is
So
from
this is I don't know where this was from. Oh, from a video game. So it was a promo card of the video game, but it's not a playable card, obviously.
so
Um,
it's not a
so
legal card.
and it's a effect of its attack is a shadowy aura is used to whip up a vicious tornado. This is gonna
Yeah.
kill people. Like, I mean, so
So
this obviously isn't like a real card. Even if
yeah.
it was, it would be at the top. Like,
Right. I mean,
um,
this you put this in your expanded the psychic Gardevoir EX, right? So you can get all the
yeah, yeah,
energies on
this
and
is
you
good
just win
Gardevoir.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is a I mean, I guess this might this the funny thing is this card, well, it would be good now if we didn't have Gardevoir. If we didn't have Gardevoir and Zato, if we didn't have ways to get energy on this,
hmm
it might not even be that good, right? I mean, it would be okay. But that's kind of
Well, it's a
um
single prize Pokemon
because
with
it's four.
300 HP,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I mean,
So
I guess you could just like penny loop it, but
yeah.
it's kind of weird. I mean,
It,
obviously 1,000 is a lot, but 400 is a lot as well.
right. So obviously it's not a playable card, should not be on the list at all. Um, and the next one's Comfy, a very good card, obviously.
Yeah, this one's yeah.
I guess you could make arguments for it now. I mean, Lost Box is obviously very good. It gets tricky, like what's the best card from Lost Box too, right? If you only
Yeah.
put
Wait,
one.
okay. So they actually mentioned Mirage Game. I wanna read out this section.
Okay.
So they say at first glance, nothing seems that impressive about it because it only has 7 HP and a bad
Yep.
attack. But then its ability is good. Because it sends a card to the Lost Zone. Now the second paragraph, filling up the Lost Zone is normally a detriment, but the deck's comfy fuels are filled to the brim with powerful cards that depend on it. Pokemon like Giratina V-Star can only use their best attacks when the Lost Zone is suitably full. And the powerful Mirage Gate item can't be used until at least 10 cards are lost. So that's
Yeah,
wrong.
that's right. It's yeah.
I mean, maybe they like formatted the sentence weirdly because you need 10 for Giratina, but that's like not. I don't know. So
Well, they were talking
yeah,
about Giratina V Star's attack before that, so maybe they that's what they
yeah,
meant initially, and then switched it. But all right, I mean, obviously the 7 and the 10 are the big numbers, right? 7 and
yeah,
the and 4 for
yeah,
Cramorant.
and four.
So
Um,
yeah, it's not
so
well put together.
yeah, and I want to say this article was made. So this is by like a larger company, and it's made by a group of people. I'm guessing people just looked online and like grabbed some stuff and then tossed it together, which I know people do
hmm
a lot. I mean, I'm a YouTuber. No, I mean, but yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So I don't think they play Pokemon, but obviously the other article is better.
Well,
But
and
anyway,
maybe
so
this was an article put together by AI too. I can kind of see the AI
oh, it could
grabbing
be. I
stuff,
didn't
and
think
these are
about that.
the
That could be
random
true.
errors that get in from AI, and then they just didn't proof it. They
Yeah.
just stuck it up there.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They also spelled V-Star should be all capitalized. Come on. No. Uh, Next up, double colorless energy. I think you mentioned
I
this. I don't know if
did.
you mentioned it on the podcast or
I
before.
think so. Yeah. I think double colorless can belong. I think it belongs in the discussion for top 10 cards.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you did mention it. So,
Yeah.
and this is obviously a good card on this list.
hmm
There are some good cards on this list.
Yeah.
This list looks like other list. Anyway, so yeah, it's very good. Next up, we have Clay Doll. We talked about again, very good.
Yep.
Okay, why did they say this card came out in the Celebrations Classic Collection?
Oh,
Like, that's weird.
well,
Like, I mean, it's not wrong. I mean, it's kind of wrong.
right. But it
It's
was out
very
before
strange.
then, right? Which they
Yeah,
don't like,
yeah. You can
recognize
like,
that. Ye-
yeah, it's kind of weird. Um,
Yeah, you should say when it came out originally, but so I don't, yeah,
but on
doesn't
the
make,
card it says when it came out originally as well. Anyway,
yeah, it came out in
the Mega,
2008 on the card image when you click on it, but they say
yeah.
2021.
Yep. Next up, we got Mega Gengar is back. For
Yep.
some reason, I don't
Even
know.
though
I
you
don't
don't
know
like
how
them.
this. Yeah, I mean, it's not that good. It's not like an awful card, but it's certainly not like top of all time. Got Mewtwo EX though, that's good. Mega
hmm
Aggron EX. This card was bad. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is pretty terrible.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know it
I
at
guess I'll
all.
look it up. But
All right, do 120, flip a coin, it does 120 more. So 240, which obviously is one-shotting everything in the format. And 20, if you flip tails, it does 20 to each of your bench. So probably don't like
yeah, but
that
it's
so
four
much.
energy, like so.
Yeah, no, that's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I've never really like heard of this card. I know it exists, but I know,
hmm
yeah. Next to it is Zoroark GX, a good card,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Very good.
Then we got Mega Venusaur. Like, why do we have all these megas? Where are these coming from?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that is not. I don't. Again, I don't know too much about this. I'm pretty sure it didn't um see like any play.
Hmm.
Let me look. It looks like it didn't. Oh wait, no, there's two different ones. I forgot. Anyway. I don't know. It doesn't look good. Next up we have
Okay.
Lucario and Melmetal. It's your go. It's
And I
Lucario and
like
Melmetal.
this, but it's what the fourth best tag team or something like that.
Maybe.
I
No,
mean,
I'd say it's probably fifth
is it
behind
fifth?
ADP, Pikarom, Reshazard,
Oh
and
yeah,
Mewtwo and
Russia's art. I
Mew.
forgot that. Yeah, right. Which
You
should
could
be
put Alolan Executor and Rowlet. I said it in the wrong order because of
okay.
expanded, but I didn't say that
So it's
earlier.
at best the fifth best tag team. So it
But we
doesn't
still have
belong.
14 more cards on this list, so
Which maybe they're all tag teams. So this one I like it, but it doesn't belong. It doesn't belong on the list.
yeah, probably not. I think it's not an absurd card. I wouldn't be. It has 266 HP. Wow. Um,
But they've left off. Is that what they said? Oh yeah, in the tag. Yeah. How about that?
um,
But they don't have all the cards that are better than it on the list. I'm pretty certain.
yeah, I don't think so. Except we have Malamar EX. I mean, this card's not very good. It's not like a garbage card. I mean, it's a fun card. It's awesome play. I mean, it's not like a bad card.
You put
It's
your
fine.
opponent's
A
Pokemon
very
to
good
sleep.
set. Yeah, and then you can like attack with it. It's awesome play. I mean, um, yeah. Um,
So it depends on how the
heh,
coin flips go in the game, probably.
yeah. Uh-huh. You want to read on from here,
So
or are you
Mewtwo and
still
Mew,
dying?
yeah, no, Mewtwo and Mew to tag team obviously belongs on the list for sure. It's better than Luke Metal at least. So I'm not going to read the text unless you really want me to.
Nah, it's fine.
I mean, I can't see Mega Gardevoir EX, another one of the
No,
Mega.
they got the wrong Mega Gardevoir. How did they do this again?
Do they?
No. Yeah,
Okay.
there was a good Mega Gardevoir, and I'm pretty. Wait, no, maybe this one saw a little bit of play. I guess it saw some play, but I think it's pretty much it's the worst of the two. I don't know. Maybe it's not as bad as I think it is, but this. Okay, I guess this was an okay fairy card, but
Well, yeah. I mean,
yeah, I think
if
the
you
other
want
Mega Gardevoir was better.
to, okay. I mean, if you want a fairy Pokemon, your choices are limited, right? So Tapu Lele GX that certainly that belongs. We've discussed that enough, right? I don't think we
Yep.
need to go over
Mm.
that. So Tropical Beach, does this one belong? Right? That was a world's promo, so not
Yeah.
accessible to most of the world and most
Yeah,
players.
arguably, in my opinion, the most controversial card of all time. Actually, no, that's not true. There have been some pretty controversial ones, but that's like that I can actually like show on screen the most controversial card.
Oh well,
Um,
yeah, right.
there's
Um,
some pretty nasty ones, but
yeah, we're not going there. So it was a world's promo. So and I believe it was right. Yeah, it was illegal. It was legal for play immediately, and I believe the deck
yeah,
that
this was
won
part of that
Worlds that
the
year
truth.
played it, right?
I don't think so. I think it was well the truth, which was the second place deck, which
Oh, the
gets talked
second
about
place
more than the
deck, and I
first place
think right.
deck.
Oh yeah, and he played it in the
Um,
deck though, right? The Truth did, if I remember. I
yeah,
think
and
I heard
then
him
everyone
talk
was like,
about
"Wait,
it.
what is this like new card that like just came out like like literally yesterday or
Well,
today or
yeah, it was
whatever?"
interesting because they're at Worlds, and they in the qualifying day, not everybody has the card, so they said you can't play it today. But
Oh yeah,
and so
and they
wait, so then
said,
he went up to the referee, the people running it, said, does that mean I can play it tomorrow?" And they told him yes. So he was one of the few people that realized you could play it in the deck the next day, I think so. And
yeah,
he had a deck that
and then he
worked with it.
almost won.
He
Yeah,
almost
no, it
won,
was
yeah. But he called the
it's
deck,
a classic deck.
yeah, and he called it the Truth, and that's just a great name.
Yeah, it's one of the most iconic Pokemon decks of all time. I think it might be the most iconic Pokemon deck of all time.
Hmm.
I don't know. That's maybe another discussion.
So you draw to 7 cards, and then your turn ends. And obviously, this was an important card for some of like what the Legacy decks, I think, back in PTCG
Yeah, it was
world.
good legacy. It's good in like control.
And of course, this card is
Yeah,
basically unobtainable, so that makes it problematic in and of itself.
yeah.
Uh,
But it is obtainable. It's not. If I think it would be less problematic if it was actually unobtainable.
right. Although you and I, nobody, we can't get it in Pokemon TCG Live though ever
Well, no,
now.
you can redeem a code.
Well,
You can't play it anyway,
right. You
but
can't trade it, but
you
yes,
can't
you'd
trade
have
for
to.
it. You can't buy it. You can redeem a code, which I guess exists, but
Yeah, if there's some
certainly
right.
not a lot.
That's true. If you have an unused code for this, you are in good shape, probably.
Well, I guess, but you can't play it, as we said.
Yeah. So,
Um,
so anyway, Mega Charizard YEX. What?
yeah, the
Huh?
cards. I think the card's just called Mega Charizard. Well, so Mega Charizard has two different forms: Mega Charizard Y and Mega Charizard X. But the
Okay.
card's called Mega Charizard EX.
Yeah, it doesn't say
Well,
Y
actually, the
on
card
it,
might
does
just
it?
be called M Charizard EX. I've never. Does anyone know how to search Mega Pokemon in Limitless?
Right, because yeah, I'm not. Yeah, yeah. Let us know in the comments because I'm not sure. Is it the M? Is it the Mega? Is there a hyphen
It might be M.
someplace?
Yeah, I don't know. I searched M Charizard EX and that showed up, but then a bunch of like others, a few other. Yeah, I guess it's M Charizard EX. Anyway, this card I don't think was very good. Arguably the other one was better. Oh wait, it's the next one. Number 8 is the Mega Charizard
Oh,
X
the X
EX.
one. Okay.
I don't. The way they wrote this is weird. I mean, it's not absurd. Certainly, people have
Hmm.
called it this. But it looks funny. Mega Charizard X EX.
Yeah,
This card was like not that good. I guess it was better than the other one, but still not that
I
good.
guess it's 5 energy, fire, fire, dark, colorless, colorless. So that is, I don't know what was in play at the time to actually make that
Well, you could use it with
viable.
Veggie Draco as well.
Oh,
Um,
okay. But then
Probably
you,
worse.
but
You
then you,
mill 5 from yourself.
right. But back in the day, though, you had to get that energy into play, right?
Oh yeah, you weren't.
So,
Um,
okay.
let's see. I'm trying to see if yeah.
All right. So
Then what do
Seismitoad,
we have next?
Seismitoad
Oh
EX.
yeah, Seismitoad.
Is
This
he?
one, yeah, this one I was talking about earlier. Very good. 30 in
Hmm.
item lock. Um, I
Right.
could see this being it. I don't hate that. Very dominant deck.
Hmm.
Stuff got banned. Arguably not even like one of the top cards in the deck that it was in, but still very good.
Right. And Vikavolt V was viable, but this, the 180 HP was more important back then than Vikavolt's HP and the 30
Yeah,
damage.
does Seismitoad win Worlds? I think it did.
Oh, was it?
Vikavolt kind of did as well,
Okay.
but it won the Worlds replacement. But and that doesn't really matter.
Right. And
Next
you're
up we
doing
got Lysander's. Oh,
trump card. Yep. No. Yep. Yep. Your boy Lysander. So
yep,
again, he's
works
banned.
with it. Got
So
banned.
so it's good when it's been banned, right? So
Yep,
Shaman EX is next, which of course is very
yep.
good.
Same deck, very good.
Yep.
Oh, number
So
4 we have.
yeah,
Okay,
a current card, Radiant Greninja. It's an interesting card to put on consider though, because it is the best of the Radiant Pokemon just in general, right? Because its engine's very good. Its attack, if you power it up, is very good. It's played a lot. Does it deserve consideration for like top 10 of all time though?
yeah.
Right?
To me, as I said, I mentioned with Umbreon Star, if it's a card you can only play one of, I hold it to a higher standard.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
and to me, it doesn't reach that higher standard. I mean, I wouldn't say even if you could play 4 of it. I guess if you could play 4 of it, it'd probably be broken, like top 10 of all time.
Yeah.
Um, to me, it doesn't meet that higher standard.
Okay. It's not a terrible card to put in
No,
consideration, I
it's
would
not a
say.
crazy. I think it's a pretty hot take at 4. No,
Well,
it's not definitely not top 10, but I think like having it on top 30 is fair.
right. I mean, if they put it instead of like the Gyarados or the Colossal or something, then the list would be much more sane if they did that.
Yeah.
Mega Ampharos EX. I don't know this one. I don't
Yeah,
know
no,
if
this
you
one I
do.
don't think was any good at all. I don't know anything about it. I assume it was bad. Oh, another Pokemon Mega Mewtwo EX is at number 2. What?
Yeah. Hmm.
This was no wait. Why didn't they say there are 2 different Mega Mewtwo's as well? I don't
Oh,
know why
there's
they
an
didn't
X
do
and Y
Mega
again
Mewtwo.
for this or whatever,
I think it's X. I don't know if it's X and Y.
or something
No, I
else.
can't search the Mega Mewtwo's because all the Mewtwo's obviously have M in the name. Okay. Um. Oh no, that's the wrong one.
Okay. So, all right. So, uh,
I saw a little bit of play. I guess
I
it
don't
wasn't
know.
like the worst card ever, but
Okay. You're
you can
looking it
play
up on
Mewtwo
Limitless.
Mew as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Um. It's not, but it's like not that good. It does more damage. It's kind of like Sableye V or Carbonal V doing more for each damage count on your opponent's Pokemon, which is like decent, but
Yeah.
um,
Is it like number two of all time? Probably not.
no, it's not number 2 of all time. Okay,
And then number one, a card which you did see coming, I'm pretty sure, unless you knew the article. And this is Professor Oak.
which
So,
which is a card, but then the cards they show are 2 different cards. Like Professor's Research and Professor Oak aren't the same card.
well, the
There's
text
Professor's
here,
Research, but
right? Few cards from Pokemon's original base set would see play today, even if they were legal. But Professor Oak is one of those rare
That's not
exceptions.
true. No, I don't think so. I think a lot of the trainers were kind of broken. I think computer search, energy removal, the super energy
Hmm.
removal, item finder. I don't remember the names of all of them. They were all kind of broken, and Professor Oak was one of them.
Yeah,
Discard your hand, draw 7, but it's essentially an item. So
but a
yeah,
professor's
very.
research is still
Oh wait, oh you're reading from the article.
yeah, from the article. So
Oh, I thought you were saying that. Okay, yeah.
no, I'm reading from the article. So and obviously, look, look, research is a super good card, right? A super good card. I think, is it a top 10 card? Maybe it is, right? I mean,
When was this article written?
I think it was
Oh,
pretty,
January. Okay, I was gonna say.
this
No,
year.
yeah, it said that Sod and Turo were in the most recent set, which is not exactly true. I mean, it technically is true, but not on research. But yeah, so this was written earlier. Wait, no, wait, January 2024. Oh yeah, no, that's wrong. That's fine.
So look, is it top 10? No, research probably is top 30 though. I think, right? It's a very
Wait, actually,
key
maybe
card.
never mind. I was wrong. It is right because Paldean Fates has it. They
Okay.
did the research, obviously. Oh, puns.
Yes.
Yeah, no, it's very good. Wait, which one? Research or Oak?
Research, professor's research.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, Professor Oak's obviously better than research.
It is, but
Um,
obviously, but it's for the whole rules of the game were different, right? You can't. I mean, we're just not considering that is in this list, right?
yeah.
So I have a
Um,
go on. I have a couple cards though that I think probably should be under consideration that
yeah,
weren't.
yeah. Give them to me. I think I know. You said Broken Time Space, right?
Broken Time Space, which I have ones that are better than that. So Broken Time Space is a
Better
stadium.
than Broken Time Space. That card was literally like it's not just a joke that it's like broken. No, it's actually broken.
Well, but your opponent can do it too because it's a stadium. So each
Well, yeah, but
player
you can just win. You can just play it, and then you
may
can just like play a
evolve
bunch of like shift
a
trees and then just
Pokemon that
win.
they
Like,
played during that turn. Um, and so you can evolve immediately, right? And I guess you could go to stage two, basic to stage one to stage two in the same turn. Is that correct? Or no?
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So look,
Yeah,
obviously
I'm
that's
pretty
very
sure.
good, but it's an older card, so it's before expanded, so you can't play it in
Okay, I have a
expanded.
question. Do you
Yeah.
think so? You said your opponent can also use it. Does
Yes.
that mean you think Forest of Giant Plants is better than Broken Time Space?
What did that one do? Sorry.
Well, it's the same thing, but just grass.
Oh, just grass. Well, that's a good question. Obviously, if you're playing a grass
Oh,
deck,
and it's banned as well.
both this card is time broken time space, or the other card as well. Time giant the plants one is banned.
Yeah.
Okay. I think it's a tough call, right? Because this could be played in every deck potentially, but obviously, if you have a grass deck, the other card's better. So it's hard to say which is better. It's just a blanket statement, which is what you all want me to do.
Yeah, I mean, I think Broken Time Space is better because it's better. I mean, it's like directly better. But I get where you're coming from.
Right. I mean, look, the fact that you help your opponent too, it weakens the ability, the advantage of it some, right? That's what I'll say, right?
Yeah.
Because like today, like Artisan's a great stadium, but honestly, half the time when I could play Artisan, even a deck that wants it, I'm not playing it because I'm like I'm going to help my opponent probably as much or more than it helps me. You know.
Yeah.
So anyway, so here's my other cards. I mean, Broken Time Space. I have Computer Search.
Which one?
The
Like
one
the
that's
original or like
no, the one for
the
you can
newer
play an
one?
expanded. Not in live
I
expanded,
guess.
but it's a great card. That's a one of. It's your criteria. That definitely makes the criteria of being good enough. That only being one of hurts it. Isn't that a potential top 10
Mhm.
card?
Maybe. I don't know.
Okay, you're a hater. I
It's up
think
there, I guess.
Boss or Goose was probably a top 10 card. I already said that. You don't believe
I
me,
guess. And that's a Pokemon catcher, which is in the category, which is like essentially it's not objectively better, but it's essentially
well, the
objectively better.
one that was an item, but that's not legal, right? It depends on the rules of what
Well,
of what
I
you're
don't know. It's kind
doing.
of legal. I thought we said black and white on in it.
Okay, then that probably goes there. And how about Genesect V?
Yeah, yeah, I'd put Genesect V. There are other cards I'd put on there. I might honestly
Right?
put Path. Path is kind of broken.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Zacian V. I'd put Zacian V. Metal Zacian V.
Right.
Old Metal Zacian V. There's two Metal Zacian Vs. As I said, I think
Yeah.
ADP.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of I'm trying to like go through potentially Genesect EX, but probably not.
Mm-hmm.
I'd definitely put like Mewtwo EX, Seismitoad EX, and Shaman EX over it. I
Mm-hmm.
could see. I'm trying to like go through the things. I mean, there's some good engines. There aren't really many engines talked about. Oh, Dedenne GX. Dedenne GX is I'd put on there.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's our bet. My bad. We should have brought that up sooner.
yeah, and then Octillery was pretty good. Oh, Garbodor. There are like a couple of good Garbodors. There are two
Mm-hmm.
Garbodors that are like kind of the same. That kind of get lumped together. And there's also
Okay.
Vileplume. I wouldn't put Vileplume, but I kind of hate that card. It's not fun. And Garbodor. I don't like Lock when like on the bench. I think that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
annoying. Anyway, yeah. Is that
Oh,
it for
yeah,
we've gone long.
yeah. There's the
Just a little.
one that makes it so the psychic GX attack that you can't play any cards the following turn.
Oh,
That's
I mean that's
I mean it's
I wouldn't
situational,
say
but
Gengar
it's
Mimikyu's
okay.
that good. I mean, if you like Trevenor is debatably like an expanded
All right.
Equivalent Dusknoir is kind of better. Oh, Battle Compressor versus Seeker. Oh, Puzzle of Time too. Yeah,
Oh,
there are a bunch of cards. There
yeah.
are like there are a bunch of banned cards. Those weren't banned. Some of those are banned, but
Right, but like
um,
Battle Compressor maybe in versus Seeker,
yeah,
obviously a tremendous combo. Yeah.
and Puzzle of Time, which is banned.
Okay.
And expanded, but I don't know. It's a cool card. Anyway, I think that's all for today's video.
Yep.
But yeah, we went a little long,
A
just a little,
little
but we
long.
hope you enjoyed. If you did, consider subscribing, liking, all that good stuff. And as I said, next week, we should have a special guest who knows who it's going to be. Yeah, it's not like I said.
All right.
Hopefully they're here this time. Hopefully they're not sick. But we hope you
Yes.
enjoyed. And as always, we're excited to see you in the next episode.
Take care.